There are a few reasons why glute exercises make our sex life even more amazing. Strong glutes help us last longer. We don't want to be a little two-stroke engine. We want to be a V12 with enough power to go all night. Glute exercises also improve blood flow to the pelvic region, keeping our giant anaconda strong, making sure it doesn't turn into a garden snake, or even worse, a little earthworm. When building our glutes, we should look at it in two ways. One, exercises that make them strong and powerful in the movement pattern that we're using them, and exercises to activate our glutes so we can feel them working. Many people spend most of their days sitting on their butts instead of using them. As a result, they're practically a dead muscle. One of the most common exercises you see when talking about glutes and sexual health is the glute bridge. This exercise is often combined with a Kegel, and it's a good way to use it, but it's not a great butt builder. The exercise is better used as a warm-up or to wake up the glutes and help develop that mind-muscle connection. You really feel the glutes working when you add weight. Squeeze your glutes to lift your hips up off the floor and hold them in the top position for 5 seconds. Doing 10 to 15 repetitions for 1 to 2 sets gets those glutes fired up. The best way to work a muscle and build it is by moving it through a full range of motion. This is another area where the glute bridge falls short. To rectify this, there are several different exercises we can do. The one that is closest to a glute bridge is a hip thrust. To do this exercise, start with your shoulder blades up against a bench. It's a good idea to have the bench against a wall so that it doesn't slip backward when doing the exercise. It can be done with or without weight. If you're new to the movement, start with body weight until you're comfortable with the exercise. Like the glute bridge, you tighten your glutes as you drive your hips upward. Again, pause at the top for a second and feel those glutes working. By raising one leg, you can train the glutes unilaterally to eliminate any muscle imbalances you might have. The hip thrust isn't my favorite glute exercise. Mine is a hybrid between two movements, but more on that in a minute. I want to go over an exercise I just demonstrated in my last video and show you how to upgrade it. I call it a band donkey kick, but it's actually a quadruple hip extension. I've been doing these for the last month on all fours with my hands up against the door to brace against the force of the bands. The upgrade is to set a bench against the door. This allows you to be farther from the anchor, increasing the resistance at the beginning of the movement. You also stabilize your back better because you're lying on the bench as you do the exercise. This movement mimics how your leg drives you forward when you sprint, something I'm working to be better at. I want to last a long time in the bedroom, but be fast in the 100-meter. Next, we'll do a standing hip thrust using resistance bands. You can set this up using a door anchor, positioning it a little lower than butt height, then connect the bands to the anchor, making a loop. Step into the bands and move forward until they naturally pull you back into a hip hinge position. You'll find you need to lean forward to maintain balance. This movement does a phenomenal job of helping a guy get the feel for a hip hinge position. The mistake people make when they do a Romanian deadlift is they make it a squat and not a hip hinge. The difference is with a hip hinge, your hips go back, not down, and your knees don't move forward at all. Having a resistance band wrapped around your waist while doing RDLs helps reinforce this movement. It actually does more than that. When doing a Romanian deadlift, you have the most tension on the glutes when you're bent forward with your hips back, and virtually no load on them when you're standing straight up, as your skeletal structure is supporting the weight. When you add a band to RDLs, you have constant tension on the glutes, even when you're fully upright, doubling the value of this exercise. Squats can build your glutes too, but you have to do them right. To find out how to use squats to improve your sex life and build your glutes, watch this video next and keep working out while having fun. This is Lawrence from Fit and 50. We'll talk to you again in the next one.